Hi everybody. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Lodewyk. I work here at BBD, and this talk is about Amazon or AWS Cloud9. And I'll do this talk with Rory a bit. He'll be my lovely assistant, and we're going to do a bit of collaboration in the demo. So AWS Cloud9 launched last year. The idea is to have a cloud-based IDE to collaborate and work together and debug online as well. So if you're going to develop in the cloud, it makes sense to develop, or if you're going to develop for the cloud, it makes sense to develop in the cloud as well. It kind of keeps you from having this thing of it worked on my machine that developers are so fond of. So we're going to build something in the cloud. Cloud9 runs in the cloud. We're going to build it in the cloud, and we're going to deploy it in the cloud or to the cloud as well. So the nice thing about Cloud9 is you code in a browser. You don't need any setup, you don't need any licensing fees, you don't need to install and manage plugins. You just run the browser and you code, and you have a fully fledged IDE in the browser. So that's pretty cool. So you get up and running really quickly. It's very great for small teams. If you want to start up a little project with your friends, it's really, really great for that as well. It also allows you to code in real time, collaboratively. So I can make a change and Rory will see the change immediately on his side. So we're going to do that as well. You just need to set up the AIM users, and you can then code collaboratively between the team. It also allows for CLI integration, so you can create buckets through the CLI or through the AWS CLI. You can manage all your other AWS resources. You can pretty much do anything on the CLI from the Cloud9 console or from the Cloud9 terminal that you can do from a terminal on your local PC. We're just going to use the git commands to push our code up. And it also supports debugging and code stepping. It uses SAM local for that, so it spins up a SAM local behind the scenes. Vanna did speak about SAM local a bit. And it allows you to hook into your AWS or your Lambda and then step through the code and inspect the variables. We'll do a bit of that as well. Pricing is based on EC2, so Cloud9 spins up an EC2 instance in the background where it runs on, and then it also spins up an EBS block, elastic block storage, where it saves the data that you're actually working on. So it writes it to disk, and because it has to passivate state. So when you get your Cloud9 instance back up, it has a state kept. So you don't ever lose states in Cloud9. So the talk itself is very short, but the demo is quite long. So hopefully we've appeased the demo gods, and we'll have a look at that now. I'm just going to exit this. Okay. AWS. Oh, come on. Okay, so this is the console in here, and I should be logged in. I'm just going to full screen this. So this is my AWS console, and what we're going to do is we're going to spin up a little project using CodeStar, and we're going to use the Cloud9 IDE to make a change in the IDE, push that up. I'm going to work collaboratively with Rory, and we're going to see if we can make a change to a project. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into CodeStar, and you'll see that I have two projects here already. One is going to be the work in progress one that we're going to work on. The other one is the done one. That's the one that I did previously, just to show you guys the results, because it does take a while to build a project and deploy it. So we're going to just for the sake of interest, just show you how to create a new project. So we're going to create a Node.js application, a Node.js web application. What this does, it will just serve static content through a Lambda, but I will show you the code as well. So the project details, we're just going to call this AWS demo. And we're going to use AWS Cloud commits because we all hate GitHub now, right? Because Microsoft bought them. Okay. I'm going to click next. And we're going to just allow CodeStar to, let me just do this. Allow CodeStar to manage AWS resources on my behalf. We're going to click next, or create project. And for some reason it doesn't like the zooming. And at this point, it's actually creating our repositories at the bottom. And we are just going to click AWS Cloud9 for our integrated IDE, or integrated development environment. I'm going to click next. And this is where you choose the instance where your Cloud9 will run on. We're going to choose a T2 micro. That's the smallest EC2 instance that you can have. It's also available on the free tier, which means if your AWS account is less than a year old, you can still do this on the free tier. And everything else we're just going to leave as default. There is a cost saving mode here. Zoom into that. And what this essentially means is if your AWS Cloud9 instance is idle for a certain amount of time, it shuts down the EC2 instance, saving you money. So we're going to leave that at 30 minutes. That should be fine. So you can also never shut it down, which means the instance will always be up, and it's a lot faster to get to the instance. Every time it needs to spin up the instance, it needs to unpassivate the state of the instance and load it up into the EC2 instance. We'll leave that to 30 minutes. Okay, so at this point it's busy setting up our CodeStar project, and it's busy setting up the Cloud9 IDE as well. So this does take a while. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes to set up, but here's one we did earlier. Okay, let's refresh this. Okay, so this one I did a bit earlier, and we already have a couple of commits on here just to clean up the documentation a bit and just enable debugging on it. So when we push something to this branch, it will go through the CI/CD pipeline. It will build and deploy our change, and we can also see how the app is getting hits here. So the app at this point just looks like that. So that's the default app that you pretty much get. We're going to replace the contents of this with our own application. Okay. So when we go to IDE over here, and we open the actual IDE, it will now unpassivate the state of Cloud9 and pull it into the actual browser so that we can see it. Okay, let me zoom in a bit. Okay, in terms of the project structure, we have an index.html file here, which is just a bunch of HTML with some inline styles. We have a index.js file here that just serves that index.html up. So it reads the file and then pushes it out to the Lambda. And finally, we have some tests. And that test essentially just looks for the word congratulations in the body. We'll change that as well, just to make the test pass. So at this point, we have a change coming in. We need to do something. So I've got a junior developer on my team who's not really junior. I mean, he's been here forever. So, hi. I'm just going to see if Rory's online. Can you please make the change? So this would be great if you're working with someone who's not sitting next to you, who's working remote. Who's working remote, and the ideal situation would be this guy to sit next to you and then you could work together. But because we're working all from home, or we would want to, this is not always possible. So Rory will go ahead and make the change. So he'll probably start by, let me just refresh this, creating a file, a contents file over here, and then he'll probably make some changes in here as well. So I'm just going to wait for Rory. So he created a file here, a content file, and that's the file that we're gonna serve up instead of the index.html file. And over here, in here, yeah, he already changed this file as well. So what he's doing is he's now putting that contents file, and you can actually go type there so that I can see, we can show the live coding stuff as well. Maybe put a comment or something. Hey? Yeah. Yeah, so you can see, as Rory is typing, you can see it on your side as well. Okay, so there's a bug here, because I'm the senior developer and Rory's a junior developer. So there's a bug here. And 10 points for the guy who can actually spot the bug. And Melissa's not allowed to answer because she saw it already. Yeah.
Okay, just remove the comment, but it's supposed to be commented properly.
Nah.
The contents.
Yeah. Yeah, so the file is named content, and Rory typed contents. So we're going to get a file not found exception when we try and read that up. So if we were to run this and see the error, we can actually now put a breakpoint over there, and we can attach a debugger to this. Okay, and we just enable the little ho-ho, and we hit run. Now what this will do is it will spin up or attach a SAM local, and it will then hit our breakpoints that we added over there. And if you look at this, contents file is contents.html instead of content.html. And if we can even change stuff in the watch window, we can even add context in here. And we can on the fly go and change these values if we wanted to as well. So it's like a modern IDE that you can actually go and play with. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. That should be 128. Okay, whatever. Cool. And this should fail with an exception. No such file or directory. So I'm going to tell Rory that there's a bug. Your bug. And I'm going to fix the bug. Eek. And while I'm at it, I'll also fix the test as well. And AWS-JOZI. Okay, because if you look at the contents files, AWS-JOZI. Okay. Right, so at this point, here knows Git. Everyone, cool. Okay, so it's just a version control tool. So we're going to go into AWS Cloud9. We're going to go Git status. We change a couple of files. Going to commit those. Oops. Git push. Origin. Okay, and we're pushing that up to master. Right, so git add, git commit, git push. Right, if you want more git commands, I think that's out of the scope of this talk, but okay. Right, so if we go back to code star and we go to the dashboard, that's the last commit in there. If we go to the code, in code commits, we'll see the latest changes. Under public, there's a content.html file, and the index.js file has been updated. This will kick off a build. You'll see it already kicked off a build. We will deploy the change, and the change will be live within a couple of minutes. Okay, again, there's one that we did earlier. And the idea is to have something like that. Okay, and that's it. Right. So we are looking for speakers. If anyone wants to speak, please contact one of the organizers. And yeah, you don't have to have a great talk. I mean,